everyone. Welcome to Slater's Wrist Game. Today we're going to do a comparison of two of my favorite watches. Those watches are the Rado Quartz Hyperchrome Chronograph and the TAG Heuer Formula 1 Quartz. But before I really get started, I'd like to thank everybody for watching this video. Please continue to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also follow me on my Instagram page at Slater's Wrist Game, okay? But yeah, I think Rado and this Rado Hyperchrome and this TAG Heuer have some sentiment of value because these were my first Swiss timepieces that I purchased, and they both represented a point where I was willing to spend more money than normal. So I had to get out of my comfort zone, and it was just the beginning of me experiencing luxury wristwatches, which I'm still pretty early in that phase. But let's just go over the specs of both watches, and then we'll get into the different categories. And those categories, I basically have 9, and I will look at the dial, the crystal, the legibility, the tactile elements, which are basically the bezel, the crown, the clasp, and the case back. I look at the movement, the finishing, the prestige, the versatility, and the comfort. And whoever wins the most out of those 9s, that's that's why I guess declare the winner. Okay. But as far as the specs, so basically we have this Rado Hyperchrome Quartz. This watch, this is model number R32039102. So this watch here has a 41mm case, 47 millimeters lug to lug. It has a height of 11 millimeters, and it has a lug width of 19 millimeters that does taper at the clasp. It only weighs about 5 ounces, so it's very lightweight. And it is 50 meters water resistant. We look at the TAG Heuer Formula 1. It is also a 41 millimeter case diameter. This one is 46 millimeters lug to lug, so it's actually shorter. 12 millimeters height, so it's actually taller. And it has a 19 millimeter lug width, which tapers to 17 at the clasp. It is 200 meters water resistant. The model number for this one is WAZ1110.BA0875. So that is a lot. But I do like both of these watches at 41 millimeters. A lot of people could wear these watches. The first thing I want to look at is the dial. So when you look at the dial of the Rado, it is a silver dial, and it has a date window at the 4 o'clock. Stick hour markers with 3 sub dials. 2 of the sub dials have this like trim in rose gold, and you see the word Rado is under the 12 o'clock. So not a lot of text, just a simple dressy chronograph with this silver dial. So I do like this one. When you look at the dial for the TAG Heuer Formula 1, it basically is a matte black dial. Arabics at the 6 and 12, and you have a date window at the 3 o'clock and a red and green logo at the 12 o'clock, which really does pop against that black dial. And you have some stick hour markers for the rest of the hour markers. Okay, so then you have a minute track going around the outer edge of the dial. So both dials look good. If I had to give the edge to one of the dials, I would definitely give it to the Rado Hyperchrome. Reason being is that when I first saw this watch, I thought the dial looked very good. I couldn't stop thinking about it. And for 3 weeks, I debated on whether or not to purchase it. And I finally made the decision to purchase the watch, in part because I love the dial so much. Now just look at the crystal. So when you look at the crystal on the TAG Heuer Formula 1, it is a sapphire crystal, but it's also very reflective. It's almost like looking into a mirror. So it doesn't have any anti-reflective coating at all on this one here. When you look at the crystal, of the Rado Hyperchrome. It is also a sapphire crystal. I'm not sure if it has some anti-reflective coating. It does seem to have some because it is not nearly as reflective as the TAG Heuer Formula 1 crystal. So as far as the crystal, I will give the edge to the Rado Hyperchrome on this one. It's just not as reflective. That's the only thing. That's one of my things I don't like about the TAG Heuer. Now, as far as legibility, the Rado is pretty legible. It's this silver dial with some rose gold hour markers, 3 sub dials, and a date window at the 3 o'clock. It is actually pretty legible. When you look at the TAG Heuer, I think it's a lot more legible. You have a black dial with a matte finish with a red and green TAG Heuer symbol at the 12 o'clock, a white date window at the 3 o'clock, and these white hour markers that are trimmed with some trim going around them. But this is a very, very legible dial. It's one of the things I always liked about this watch. And so as far as legibility, I'm definitely going to get it to the TAG Heuer. As far as tactile elements, when I say tactile elements, I pretty much mean the bezel and the crown and the clasp and the case back. So this is a 120 click unidirectional bezel. Very, very easy to turn. Even with my gloves, this was like very easy to turn. You do have a screw down case back, and the clasp here is pretty decent. It is a push button clasp, double push button clasp. But you do have this pressed metal clasp here, so a lot of people don't like that at this price point. The case back is a screw down case back that's easy to unscrew, and you do have this TAG Heuer logo on the back of the case back. But overall, I think it's good. You also have a diver's extension for this watch too, wherever it is on here. I've rarely used it. But overall, I think the tactile elements are pretty good for this one. For the Rado Hyperchrome, this is a fixed bezel, but this is a dress watch. So the bezel is fixed. You do have a push-pull crown. This watch is only 50 meters water resistant. The clasp is pretty good. You do see this Rado, or this sign, Rado clasp here. And this portion of the clasp is titanium. So there's a huge upgrade over what we saw for the TAG Heuer. And the case back, it appears to be a screw down case back. Well, it is a case back that has screws in it. So you have to unscrew these with a screwdriver. And you see the logo with the seahorses on the case back. So this is a tough one because I think the clasp for the Rado is better than the clasp for the Formula 1, but all the other things like the screw down, the bezel action, the case back, and the crown go to TAG Heuer. So I'm gonna get an edge to TAG Heuer on the tactile elements. As far as the movement, both these watches have quartz movements. The Rado is part of the Swatch group, and they use an ETA-based movement called a 538 quartz. It's a 6-hand chronograph movement with a date window at the 6 o'clock. All right. And as far as the Rado, they use a Ronda movement. It is the Ronda 6004.B. This has a battery life of about 40 months. It is a gold-plated movement with 5 jewels, and it is a hacking movement. It is a Ronda quartz movement in this one. So basically, you have a Ronda movement versus a ETA chronograph movement. I think both movements are solid. I would give the edge to the more complicated movement, which is the Rado ETA movement. I think in general, ETA is probably more highly regarded than Ronda, even though Ronda makes some good movements. As far as finishing, you see this Rado, it is a high polished finish. It is a dress watch. This is this ceramos material, which is ceramic and stainless steel. Basically, you can get this so polished, it's like it has a mirror reflection in it. But the finishing is pretty good. Rado as a company is known, their motto is called Master of Materials. I think for the most part, Rado does a great job with their finishing. Now this Tag Heuer is finished pretty well. It has a brush finish. So you see on the side here, it is brushed. On the other side, it is brushed. So this watch here pretty much has like a brush finish. So it's not high polished. Now, personally, that's what I like about it. That's why I think this was one of the things, one of the reasons I picked this watch up. But compared to this Rado, I'm going to get a finishing edge to Rado on this one. Now, as far as prestige, you have Tag Heuer, which has been around since 1860 as Heuer. They had a lot of accomplishments under the Heuer name. They've been Tag Heuer since 1986. They still have a lot of accomplishments. They also are the official timekeeper for Formula One, and they also sponsor the Red Bull team for Formula One. And as far as brand recognition or prestige, a lot of people who don't even collect watches have probably heard of Tag Heuer. Rado is a Swiss-made brand that was founded by the Fritz brothers in 1917 as a watchmaking factory. They became Rado in 1957, and they are a part of the Swatch Group. But I think Rado is not very popular in the States. They're more popular in like certain European countries or Asian countries. But they've done a lot. Like I said, their motto is master the materials. They have a lot of they have a lot of ceramic or ceramos or plasma cases, and also ceramic cases as well. So they've done a lot. But as far as prestige, I would definitely get an edge to Tag Heuer in the prestige section. As far as versatility for both these watches, I would definitely say that the Rado is definitely a dress watch only. It is that high polished finish, 50 meters water resistance. So this is nothing you'll go swimming with. You only want to wash your hands with this one. Not a lot of water resistance. Whereas the Tag Heuer is 200 meters water resistant. It has this brush finish, black dial, black bezel. So it's just this can be your everyday carry, a sports watch, or you can actually wear this for a dress occasion. It'll work. So even though I like both watches, the versatility definitely goes to the Tag Heuer. So far out of 8 categories, 4 for the Tag, 4 are for the Rado. So the last category is comfort. Both these watches are very comfortable. You can actually forget that they're both on your wrist. Right now, I'm gonna put it on my wrist right now as a wrist shot. I'm wearing my Citizen Bryson Chronograph. Picked this up a little while ago. But I'm gonna put both these watches on my wrist, and then I give you my winner of this final category, which will break the tie. So right now, I'm putting on the Rado Hyperchrome. My wrist is 7 3/4 inches, which is 20 centimeters. So we'll put this watch on and see what it looks like on the wrist. All right, so this is what the Rado looks like on my wrist. I do like Rado because it is hypoallergenic. So if you have some type of allergies, this will work. And the ceramics material is like very comfortable. This is actually a very comfortable watch. All right, so this is the Rado Hyperchrome. Now I'm gonna put on the Tag Heuer Formula One, which is also very comfortable. So just bear with me for a minute on this one. I'll get my gloves. Okay, now we're putting on the Tag Heuer. And this is a very comfortable watch too. I love wearing it. Both of these watches are great grab and go watches. But let's just go ahead and put it on. All right, so like I said, my wrist size is 7 3/4 inches, 20 centimeters. So this is the Tag Heuer Formula One. Also very comfortable watch. So as far as comfort, this is a very tough decision, just like it was for a lot of these categories. But I'm gonna go ahead and give the edge to the Rado Hyperchrome on this one. And I'm going to give the winner of this one as the Rado Hyperchrome. So this was a very tough competition out of 9 categories. very tough, but I think the Rado kind of wins it. Both these watches are incredible. You can find these watches for great values on the gray market or pre-owned. I would definitely recommend these watches as your first Swiss watch. And they are quartz. There are some advantages and disadvantages to quartz. Some people don't like Swiss quartz. But like I said, I would say pick these watches up, either gray market or pre-owned. So that concludes this video. Please continue to comment, like, subscribe. Tell me what you think. Do you agree or disagree? Or are there any other additional points to consider? Hey, just leave your opinions in the comment section, and I look forward to bringing you another video soon. All right, thanks, and enjoy your day.